Hey, Stives here with Beard Logic, bringing you another update to Grave Complex's survival tower defense game. I spent a good deal of time working on optimizations this week. I've been trying to get the number of draw calls down to somewhere resembling 50. I was hoping to get it even lower than that. Because of limitations of the game, I'm not able to use a number of the standard optimization techniques that are available to me, so I've been developing my own custom solution. The two big ones are shadows and custom batching. The shadows still need a bit of work. They need to be a little more subtle, and they still need to conform to the mesh surface. But I can batch them entirely into a single draw call now, as opposed to when before, where they were causing about 100 extra draw calls. I admit that they're not going to look as good as they did before, but I will keep those other shadows in the game for really high-end devices and for the eventual transition into the PC version of the game. I still need to look at optimizing the animated objects like these bow towers, but if I were to open the frame debugger here, you can see we still have about 83 draw calls, which is about 70 better than what I was getting before. Let me just move to an area where there's less animated objects and you'll see the real benefit to what I've done. I mean, this is a fairly empty area, but you can see that the number of draw calls is about 55 here, which is great, but I think we're going to show off something a little better than that. Let's go over to where I've got a bunch of objects set up and we can see exactly how many draw calls this is going to give us. 63, yeah, that's not too bad. My hope is that this will enable the game to be played on some of the lower end devices. And because some of you might find this interesting, I want to show off the custom batching solution I've been working on. So if I get a hold of one of the meshes here, you'll be able to see that most of these are all the same object. They're just being drawn as a single mesh. So this has actually been dynamically generated in the game. Now the cool part about this is what happens if you destroy one of the objects that's actually part of that mesh. I'm just going to lower the hit points on the rock here so I can demonstrate. As the rock is destroyed, the batched mesh is replaced with the original meshes that are used to compose the batched mesh itself. Then, after time, the system rebuilds the batched mesh so that the draw calls are lowered again. As you can see, the process is seamless. I wanted to show you this because, well, aside from the fact that I was working on it this week, and I personally find it really cool, you don't see too many people showing off how they're optimizing their games. So I hope that somebody will find this somewhat interesting or helpful. Certainly if there's any questions, I would be happy to try and answer them. Although there are a couple of things that I'm doing that require my specific setup to actually work. Anyway, that's all I really have to show off for now. Have a good week.